For one perfect second, Malik stood on top of the tower, arms out, the whole parking lot cheering below. The next second, the tower twisted under his feet, and there was nothing beneath him but crates and concrete. It had taken 20 minutes to build, 10 seconds to climb, and less than 1 second to come apart. And the video this Roblox player wanted so badly is the reason he now has a screw in his wrist. To understand how a stack of empty crates put Malik in a hospital, we have to start that afternoon. Malik was 14, and that August, one video was on every single screen at his school. Somebody would stack a pyramid of plastic milk crates, taller than a person, right out in the open. Then they would try to walk up one side and down the other, without the whole thing collapsing. Most of the clips ended in a spectacular fall, a pile of crates and a person flat on the ground. And that was the whole point, because the harder you fell, the more the internet loved the video. The ones who made it across looked like heroes, and the ones who wiped out went even more viral. Either way you won, or at least that is how it looked to Malik from the safe side of a screen. He was not the kind of kid who did dangerous things, and he had never broken a single bone before. He never thought about what a stack of loose plastic crates would actually do with his full weight on top. That is exactly why nobody, including Malik, thought this particular Saturday would end in an emergency room. One Saturday, his friends found a pile of crates behind a store, and the joking suddenly became a plan. They dragged the crates into the middle of an empty parking lot and started stacking them into a pyramid. It went up fast, wider at the bottom, narrowing to a single wobbly crate right at the very top. By the time they finished, the tower was taller than any of them, and a small crowd had gathered. Phones came out, and the countdown to who would climb it first had already quietly begun. They joked that the loser would be the one too scared to try, and nobody wanted to be that person. A few of the older kids said they had seen someone do it perfectly, so how hard could it be? Malik was not the biggest or the bravest, and everyone kind of expected somebody else to try it. But nobody moved, because up close, the tower looked a lot less funny than it did in the videos. And then one of his friends turned the camera on Malik and asked if he was going to do it. The whole crowd looked at him, the phones were recording, and backing down felt impossible in that moment. Malik told himself the same thing. How hard could it really be? And he stepped closer to the tower. So he put his hands on the crates, took a breath, and started to climb. The first few crates were fine, wide and stable, and the crowd started cheering him on right away. For a moment, he thought this was easy, and he grinned, and he climbed a little faster than he should have. But the higher he went, the narrower it got, and the more the whole tower began to shift under him. He did not look down, because some part of him already knew that looking down would make him stop. Each crate he stepped on rocked slightly, and the stack swayed, and his heart started to pound harder. With every crate, the tower talked back, a plastic groan and a shudder that ran all the way up. He was too high now to jump down safely, and too committed to climb back, so he kept going up. The cheering below him got louder, and it pushed him higher, one careful, terrifying crate at a time. Finally, he pulled himself onto the very top, stood up straight, and lifted his arms into the air. For one perfect second, Malik was the kid from the videos, on top of the world, with everyone watching. Then the top crate shifted a few inches to the left, and his whole body tried to correct for it. That tiny movement was all the loose stack needed, and the entire tower folded beneath him at once. There was no clean fall, no time to land on his feet, only crates flying out in every direction. Malik came down hard through the collapsing pile, and his arm took the full weight of the impact. He heard a sound he would never forget. A sharp crack from his own wrist as he hit the concrete. Then his ribs slammed into the edge of a crate, and the air was driven completely out of his lungs. For a few seconds, he could not breathe, could not move, and could not make a single sound at all. The whole thing happened so fast that half the people filming did not even catch the actual fall. The cheering had turned into a gasp, and then into a horrible silence as the dust and crates settled. His friends ran to him, and the ones who had been laughing hardest went pale and went completely quiet. Malik was curled on the ground, gasping, cradling an arm that was already bent in a wrong direction. Somebody was shouting to call for help, and somebody else just kept apologizing, over and over again. The video that was supposed to make him famous had captured every second of the worst moment of his life. An adult from the store heard the crash, came running out, and was the one who finally called an ambulance. At the hospital, the doctors told Malik and his mother that his wrist was broken in 2 places. He had also fractured 2 ribs and taken a hard hit to the head when the tower came down. They explained that a fall from that height could easily have broken his back or his neck instead. For a while, every breath hurt. He could not lift his arm, and even laughing sent pain through his chest. His mother sat beside the bed, and she did not say one word about the video or about being angry. She just kept her hand on his good shoulder, quietly relieved that a broken wrist was the worst of it. Malik ended up needing surgery, and the doctors put a small metal screw into the bone of his wrist. He spent the rest of that summer in a cast, unable to game, unable to write, unable to do much. The ribs made it hard to sleep for weeks, and the headaches from the fall came and went for a while. One friend had kept the video, then deleted it, unable to watch that moment on a loop anymore. The clip did get shared around his school, but not one comment made the pain in his ribs any smaller. By the time it stopped spreading, most people had already moved on to the next viral thing entirely. Malik was the one left behind, with the cast, the scar, and a screw that stays in his wrist for good. The hardest part was not the pain, it was knowing he had done it entirely to himself. For a clip. Here is the truth about that pile of crates that the funny falling videos were never going to tell you. This was a real trend called the Milk Crate Challenge, and it sent people to hospitals all over the country. Doctors treated broken wrists, cracked ribs, torn knees, dislocated shoulders, and worse, all from these exact falls. Some people fractured their pelvis or their spine, and doctors publicly begged everyone to please just stop. The trend got so dangerous so fast that the app it started on deleted the videos and blocked the hashtag. A stack of loose crates is not a staircase, it is a trap that waits for you to reach the very top. So if a challenge only becomes a good video when you fall, understand that the fall is the whole product. You are not the star of that clip, you are the crash, and the crash is what everyone came to watch. The strongest kid in that parking lot was never the one who climbed the tower for the camera. It was any kid who could have walked up, put their hands in their pockets, and simply said, "No thanks." Malik is okay today, but his wrist still aches before it rains, and he still remembers that 1 second. He says it was the best 2 seconds and the worst 2 seconds of his life, with nothing between them. If you have a friend already eyeing a stack of something to climb for a video, send them this first. And if this story got to you, hit that like button and subscribe, because it really helps these reach further.